As you can see, there is a viewing window, so it's a respectable mechanic shop. They're not going to lie to you. They're not going to cheat you. Hey everybody, it's Moonbo here, and welcome back to Scrap Mechanic City. In this episode, I've got all sorts of cool stuff to show you guys. I ended up finishing the gas station, which was a build that I streamed not long ago, so I'm going to put a link in the description if you guys want to hang out with the past Moonbo and see what that stream was all about, and watch the process of the gas station being built, as well as this fuel tank truck. So what I actually did with this fuel tank truck, though, was I removed the fuel tank and turned it into this. So this here is like a template for a truck that you can actually put whatever you want on the back here and turn it into a completely different build. So with that truck, I made this really neat flatbed tow truck that you can load some cars into, and I've also added a new little pickup truck to the world as well that I'll be showing you guys in a moment. But first we're going to start with the gas station and the fuel truck, and then we'll move on to the tow truck and the mechanic shop that's just over there. So this fuel truck has a few pretty cool features. If you hop into the driver's seat right here, you'll see it has a couple buttons, of course, so you can turn the headlights on and off, as well as honk your horn. Not much in there. The one thing I did want to add to this was actually a little side step here. So you can actually hop onto this little side step, and right here you can see there's a switch. So if I quickly just hop up on top here, you can see I actually made a little hatch. So if I press that button that is right underneath me, you'll see that the hatch will open up, and you can actually access the tank inside. I see that there's actually a pretty big hole in the tank, so I don't think this would be a very good tank truck if it had a huge hole in it. So I'm actually gonna get rid of that hole. And you can see I have a little ladder inside as well, so you can come inside the fuel tank, of course when there's no fuel in it, and easily just make your way back out and close the hatch down. So I just wanted to kind of add that little feature, because I'm pretty sure some fuel tank trucks, you have access to the fuel tanks for maintenance and all that other good stuff. So let's take this fuel truck and move on over to the finished gas station and avoid the template of that truck there. So the first thing I'm going to do actually is show you guys over here what this tank truck would be used for. So if I back up this way, you can see I have some covers there as well on the ground. So what these covers are is essentially the fuel tanks that would supply the fuel to the entire gas station. So if I come over here, I can actually show you guys the two switches that will open the fuel tanks up. So if I come over to this one, you can see, yep, this one is full of fuel. You can actually go and swim around in the fuel a little bit. I don't advise it, but it could be fun. And of course, you can easily just get out like this, and that one's good to go. And now this one I decided to leave as an empty fuel tank, so you can actually see what a full ladder would be like. So one thing I added for detail was the fact that this ladder is submerged, and if you look at this one, you can actually see the full ladder. So this would be the empty fuel tank that's kind of waiting for the new shipment to come in. And as you can see, there's a makeshift ladder that you can get in and out of. And I put a hole, as you can see, just on the tops of those fuel tanks here like this, which would kind of be where this would go in, and you can fill the tank up like that. So let's actually just, we can probably walk, but let's drive over, screw it. So we're gonna drive over this way in front of that pig. Don't ask me why I made that pig, actually, I don't even know why. And here is the gas station all finished up. So here you can see I made a little bit of a sign, so you can imagine like a gas station would have some type of sale on chocolate bars or something, so that would be that sign. And over here on this side, this is actually the propane kind of container. I think usually a gas station would definitely have propane tanks that would be stored outside and away. So that's a pretty neat little feature. You can see it's a dangerous thing to get into. I ended up calling this Moon Gas with a little moon logo here and kind of like the color scheme of the entire gas station as well. Now if we move into the gas station here, you'll see I finished up the checkered floor and we got the ATM there. Now over here, I'm pretty proud of this. This is the coffee corner. You can actually see I pretty much managed to get one of these bagels into the slot. I was trying to do it on the stream and I was having a really hard time. I finally got one in though, barely, but it just doesn't really fit. But so that's the coffee corner. And of course here we have a surprisingly modern looking bathroom in the gas station. Nice features in there. So here we got some shelves stocked with random goods that you would find in Scrap Mechanic, of course. And over here is the hot dog machine. Now, as you can see, though, I can imagine that hot dog looks like it got stuck in the rollers, and I don't think anyone would want to buy a hot dog that got stuck in the rollers there, unfortunately. So here's the front cache, which is kind of lined with a few ducts. I couldn't put anything on these bottom shelves because obviously the wedge pieces above were blocking it, but nonetheless, I think it looks pretty cool. And over here, this is a fridge. We got some bottles of water, as well as some energy drinks. I'm pretty sure you always see energy drinks in the gas stations, even though I guess they're not really the greatest thing for you. And this is what it would be like, but working behind the counter in the gas station here, actually. And I also added the safe as well. You can see there's some money as well as some coins, so we can keep that stuff safe there. And I kind of just added a little back shelf there, maybe for some controllers to move some of the cosmetic stuff around. Now, if we come over to the left side of the gas station, I added an ice box here, just for cosmetic reasons, of course. So I thought that was a pretty neat feature. And over here we have the air pump station for your tires, of course, so you could come in here and park your car and get the air for your tires. And over here we have the pump sections, of course, so these are color-coded. I kind of guess I went with diesel and like some type of environmentally friendly gas, maybe. So there's quite a few pumps, of course, and the cars and the trucks and everything fit very nicely underneath this entire cover, as well as in between the fuel pump stations. Now, before I get to the mechanic shop, I'm going to show you guys this little truck that I made, so we'll drive it up to the gas station. As you can see, though, it's very simple in design, just like the car that I made in the Car Crusher video. I added as much detail as I could to this one, though. It looks very sporty as well, and it is very fast, so I added the kind of sports lines here, as you can see. So let's hop into the driver's seat, and we'll bring up the buttons. So as you can see, there's 3 buttons. The first one is going to raise and lower the tailgate there. The second button is your headlights, and the third one is a little horn. So let's take this truck and show you what it's like. Oh, see how, geez, it's so fast. Okay, slow down here. So as you can see, though, it's a perfect height with the gas pumps, and the entire ratio of the gas station is really nice as well, because you can imagine I would park the truck right here, and there's loads of room for another vehicle to park right behind it. So that's the same for all sides as well. But this truck is actually really fast. Jeez, look at this. I can almost flip this thing pretty easily. But that's pretty much it for the gas station. I'm gonna move on to the tow truck over there, as well as the mechanic shop right after that. So let's go see what this tow truck is all about. Moving on with this truck here. And I'm actually gonna just spin this truck around so we can actually use that tow truck. Geez, this thing is fast. Okay, hold on here. Let me back it up right there. So this tow truck is pretty simple. You can see with the spider web here, it's pretty standard. I added just like the minor features, like as you can see the headlights here, as well as some cool, I guess those would be the exhaust pipes, and a pretty fancy looking interior as well. Now if we hop into the driver's seat, you can see there are 4 buttons. The first one being the headlights, the second one being the horns, just like the tanker truck. And now if this is the 3 key, so that's your entire truck bed. And number 4 will get your radio going. Now, if we hop out, we can actually use that truck bed with this switch right here. So let's actually move this forward a little bit so we can actually give the little truck some room in the back. And we'll just press the switch from the seat here, actually, and let that lower down, like so. As you can see, this lands perfectly flush to the ground. Now, the reason for that, though, is because this is a pivot point here that's on free bearings, so it doesn't matter what is behind it. So I can actually come behind here, and if this was raised up 2, 3, 4 blocks, it wouldn't matter because of the free bearings, it will rest naturally, and no matter what, whenever you pull forward, it'll drop down lower. So let's hop into this little truck here and see how well we can get up onto the back of that truck. Now I'm going to have to line up a little bit better than that, I think, like so. Alright, so we're lined up perfectly, and we'll drive it up like this. Nice and steady. This truck actually just fits as well. The car does fit much better, but the truck ended up fitting perfectly, which I was really happy about. So as you can see, it will actually grab onto it in the back here. So these bearings turn this forward, and these ones lift up to sit it on a flatter plane. So now we got the truck in the back, though, so let's hop into this truck here. So many trucks. And we can easily drive around now. Now, my favorite part of this truck is when you load something into the back like this, you can actually feel the weight difference, and the truck no longer steers or drives the way it used to. So you have to actually compensate for the added weight and just how much stopping power you have, as well as acceleration power. So as you can see though, it's pretty simple. You can drive around very easily and lag-free as well. I was very surprised. There's no lag, despite all of the suspension, and that's why I'm really trying my best to keep these builds as simple as I can. So let's back this up towards the mechanic doors there, and we'll lower the truck bed like so. Now, I find the easiest thing to do is basically just drive forward with this truck. So you can see it'll slowly drop it down. It's a tight fit, so it doesn't come out too easily, but if you just keep on persisting with the W key, it'll eventually make its way off of the back of the truck bed there. Like so, and then we can easily just bring that back up, and we're ready to move that truck into the mechanic shop. So that is the new and improved tow truck. I did build a different tow truck in a past stream that I wasn't very happy with. It was for the bigger version of vehicles, so I kind of didn't stick with that one, and I wanted to stick with the new ratio of cars, so this I think is just perfect. But now, let's take this truck here and move it right in front of the mechanic shop, and we'll prep that for some pretty cool stuff. Alright, so the mechanic shop is pretty neat. I added a really cool wrench up here, actually. You can see it's just something on a bearing like that I welded up there, but nonetheless, I think it looks absolutely fantastic with that wrench there. And you can see it's just like mechanic with a little bit of design. This here is the front entrance, so let's take a step inside. So this is essentially where the waiting area would be if your car was inside the mechanic shop. As you can see, there is a viewing window, so it's a respectable mechanic shop. They're not going to lie to you. They're not going to cheat you. As you can see, there'd also be some sales or something for tires. And this here is pretty neat. This is supposed to be like one of those kind of rotating standees. If I quickly hop onto the counter side here, you can see there's a switch. So if I press that switch, this starts to rotate pretty slowly. So this would be where the keychains would be, as well as maybe even, I think there's air fresheners and stuff like that. I think I forgot to put that on an infinite loop, so there we go. Now it's going to spin indefinitely, but we'll turn that off so we don't have to listen to that controller. Aside from that though, the front entrance is pretty simple. Now here we enter, this is really the mechanic lounge, so all the staff can come in here, chill out on a couch, and watch some TV. There's a fridge over here if you want to store some lunch or some snacks. And this is the lamp that I had made for the apartment episode a few episodes back. Now here we are walking into the actual mechanic shop. As you can see, I tried to add a little bit of detail in here. The main thing that I was going for was some functionality. So it has 2 car bays, one on each side like so. Now before we load anything onto that, let's see what this is all about here. So you can see danger signs everywhere, so you should be trained in what you're doing. Now this is just some door panels. You can imagine they're ready to replace door panels and dents and dings. A whole bunch of tires as well, so they're ready to fix up any car that comes in. And here, this is actually one of those tire placers, so if you press this button right here, the arm comes down and the timer loads up, and you can see the tire spinning around as if it was being put onto the rim, and then you can press that button, the arm will come up, and it'll stop. Now this is my favorite part of the entire mechanic shop, actually. This is 2 lifts here. The first thing I'll do is gonna load this truck on. Oh, actually, I almost forgot. Look, you can actually see I made a few little gas tanks, some jerry cans. So just something that a mechanic shop would probably have just in case the tow truck comes in. They need some gas for a car that ran out of gas down the road or something. Now let's bring this to the left bay right here. You can see I made it nice and bright and yellow, so you can't miss it, and you can't miss the lineup as well with those white lines. So let's zoom in a little bit here and line up like this. Alright, nice and easy. As you can see, I made some stoppers there so you don't overshoot the ramp. Now, this is the control center right here, or the center console, so if I press this button, you'll see it'll just rise up like this. And now it's perfect because you can actually walk right underneath it, so you can actually do some work underneath the body of the vehicle. And it's very stable and very flat, and the truck doesn't even want to fall off or anything, so I think that's absolutely perfect. So you can see it just smoothly goes back down with some simple controller configurations on 3 different levels of blocks. Now let's grab that little car and we'll see what it looks like with both vehicles put inside the mechanic shop. A nice easy turn right here. Alright, so as you can see, the truck and the car have a pretty new ratio compared to the old cars that I was making. And I'm really happy with the designs of these new ones because it's gonna enable me to make some more complicated builds, really. Because those huge cars, I mean, if I wanted to make a car park or something, I would never make it. The cars would just be too big. And I've gotten quite a few comments about the size of my past cars and just the fact that they are too big. And I completely understand. I guess it was just something that I wanted to do, but I'm definitely ready to transition into a smaller scale build world so we can get way cooler stuff. So here we go, both of them going up on the lift. There we go, perfect. And this one's just the same, you can walk right underneath it. So there you have it, guys. It's the new and improved tow truck as well as the finished gas station with the gas truck. We've also have the template for the truck as well, so you can make whatever kind of truck that you want. And we also have the awesome mechanic shop with the 2-car garage, as well as a nice interior that is well finished, and I absolutely adore this little wrench that I put up there. I think it really brings this entire build together. So thank you for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for Endless Scrap Mechanic, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one.